Thank you very much, Madam. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I know it's been a very late start, and we have a little bit of a compulsion to end on time, so which means that we will have to be very precise and very sharp about time. So I request my fellow panelists to keep that in mind. We are going to be talking a little bit about sustainability as it applies to the mining sector. And we have had a lot of important and interesting observations today from different sectors. And this is our chance to talk a little bit about mining and in the context of sustainability. So just to set the context, we are all aware of the importance of minerals and metals. It doesn't need to be highlighted here. It's the stuff of everyday life. It enables a lot of growth and development activities, well-being, quality of life. But we are also aware that the extraction and supply of minerals and metals can be potentially damaging to the environment, to communities, to biodiversity, to forest. And therefore, responsible mining becomes extremely important. And companies around the world, in India and other places, are becoming increasingly aware of adopting business strategies, looking at practices that promote sustainable and responsible mining, how to go about creating value, how to go about creating value with the local communities, and also acting on the global stage in more responsible ways. And this is primarily, this awareness is growing, this idea of integrating business strategy with more responsible and sustainable behavior is happening because of two reasons. At the local level, you have a compulsion for companies to secure and preserve their license to operate. In communities, in areas where there are predominant socio-economic concerns, there are environmental concerns, and therefore this becomes a part of their business DNA to make sure that they are in sync with how communities where they operate perceive their activities, and to see how they can function in a way that they carry the community along with them. The other compulsion is more global. There is a growing realization among companies that operate across different geographies that some of the world's problems, we have heard about climate change today, there is the compulsion of eliminating deep-rooted poverty in many countries. These are problems that cannot be solved by a single actor alone. Governments, companies, communities, civil society have to act in tandem. Collective solutions have to be found and sustained over time in order to address some of these very deep challenges that we have. So companies feel that they are part of a broader community. They want to take steps that make them responsible members of the global community in addressing these problems. Just to take an example from my company, Rio Tinto recently, together with 30 other Australian companies, signed up for the SDGs. We are the founding members for the Global Compact Network in Australia. And so have other companies featured on this panel signed up for the SDGs, because we all feel that in the Sustainable Development Goals, we have a framework that allows us to look at opportunities and risks in the right way, and to play a part in being part of the solution, and also work as part of a broader community to address and find these solutions. So, to my mind, the culture of sustainability is evolving quite distinctly in the last few years because of this global dimension. And I'm actually going to turn to Abhijit Kulkarni, who's here from McKinsey, to give us a sense of how this culture of sustainability is evolving. What are some of the company boardrooms now thinking or acting upon when they think about social responsibility? And how does that have a bearing on how we look at mining in India? Abhijit actually heads the mining and minerals practice for McKinsey in India, and he has a good overview on this aspect. So I'll turn to Abhijit to give us a little bit of a sense of what he sees as trends and evolution in this space. Abhijit.